YouTube, Budget Bug out. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 3 EDC, or also known as everyday carry, pocket knives. I'm also going to be talking about my Grail knife, which means the knife that I'm saving up for. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. The first knife I'm going to be talking about today is the Benchmade Griptilian, which is this one right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over the different deployment options, meaning how you open the folding knife itself. So there's the typical thumb deployment, very standard, and then to close the knife you just simply move this part back and it will swing closed. You can also open the knife using that, it's called an access lock. You can open it and close it very easily. Another way to open this knife is just by gravity, just by inertial force. Alright, a couple of things to note about this knife is that it is made in the US of A. It is made out of 154 cm steel, which is very good steel. Takes a really good edge and holds it for a while. It's designed by Pardue, which I don't know, that doesn't really mean too much to me, but to the knife guys out there it does. Has a serrated edge. The shape of this blade is something called a modified sheep's hoof. Another thing to note is the pocket clip, which is two-way adjustable. You can have it on this side or this side, and because of how this knife is designed, if you're left-handed or right-handed, it wouldn't matter. You can still open the knife the same way as the thumb or the access lock. The next knife I'll be talking to you about is the Spyderco Sage, which is this knife right here. Okay, and once again, let's go ahead and show you how to open this knife and how to close it. It's a little bit different than the Griptilian in that, yes, there is still that thumb hole deployment, but instead of using some sort of access lock to close it, a compression lock, there is something known as a liner lock. So you just push over the lockup bar, and then you can just move it out of the way and then close your knife. And then just pretend, something I've heard is a little analogy known as like the marble deployment. So if you just pretend that you're shooting a little like a game of marbles, you know, like kids do with whenever they're back in the day, that's how they used to play marbles. You just use that same sort of mentality and just bring out the blade. If you get good at it, you can also you know, grip the side with your thumb and do that with your index finger or middle finger. This knife has a lot of differences than the Griptilian. Has a different type of steel. This has a somewhat of a super steel. This is the S30V steel. It is lighter. The weight on this is 32 ounces. I'm not sure if I said the Griptilian's weight. The weight on that was 3.76. So this is lighter. This has a carbon fiber handles. So it's very super strong and also very lightweight as well. This one has an open back or pillar construction as opposed to the Griptilian, which, you know, it has very closed back space. So the advantage of this is that you can clean out the blade a lot easier. There's also milling on the inside to reduce the weight on it as well. This knife has jimping on the back and also has a choil on it as well, so you can choke up on the blade and get you'll have even more control as well, depending on what type of cutting task you're doing. One of the favorite things that I like about this, and something that not a lot of knives have, I've noticed, is it has this nice little groove right here, so that your finger can just comfortably, or thumb rather, comfortably deploy the blade. It's very smooth opening and closing. Let's see here, the blade centering on this is perfect. This also has a reversible pocket clip. You can carry it on the side or on this side, but due to the liner lock, it would be hard to close it left-handed. The last pick of my top 3 EDC knives is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, which is this knife right here. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about how you can deploy the blade on the Paramilitary 2. There's a thumb option, the middle finger, reverse deployment, and then finally you can use this something called the compression lock and whip it right out that way. The compression lock has similarities to the Griptilian in that you can use it to deploy the knife, and it has similarities to the liner lock in that you have to move a piece of metal aside in order to close it. The steel on the Paramilitary 2 is the same as on the Sage. It is S30V steel. But unlike the Sage, let me try to show you a side-by-side comparison. It has a much thicker blade, but it has the same type of grind. So not only is it a great cutter, but it's good for heavy duty cutting as well. The handles, as you can tell, are camo pattern, something known as Digicam. The material that the handles are made out of is really super hard substance known as G10, and it's also extremely grippy. The pocket clip on the Paramilitary 2 is 4-way adjustable, so you can carry it either tip down in your pocket, or you can put it over here and carry it tip up in your pocket, like this one. Some people prefer one way, some people prefer another way. There's also a very nice paracord lanyard hole, so that you can put it in, put this in here, put paracord or whatever type of rope or string that you have, and you can easily pull it out of your pocket that way as well. The centering on this is really excellent as well. Something I forgot to mention about the Spyderco Sage is the price point, which is about $120 for either one of these knives. This knife that I'm holding in my hand right now, the Paramilitary 2, is extremely hard to find at the moment. They just can't keep them on the shelves. No knife store and no knife online retailer can keep it on their shelves for longer than about an hour. A couple last things to note is that the Paramilitary 2 was made in America. As you can tell, it says it was made in Golden, Colorado, USA, Earth. I think they're trying to be funny with that last point. Also, another thing to note is the weight. The weight of the Paramilitary 2 is 3.75 ounces. The length of the blade is 3.44 inches. Well, that just about wraps things up. I hope this video was informative to you. The last thing I was going to cover is my Grail knife, and that is known as the Sebenza, and that's by Chris Reeves Knives. And I'll show a little slideshow at the end of this video to show you kind of what I'm talking about. And I want to just thank y'all for your subscriptions. I've grown a lot. I'm coming up on 600, and I've only 600 subscribers, and I've only been doing this a few months. So I really thank y'all for your support, and I'm currently in the process of budgeting and organizing stuff for the giveaway that I'm going to be doing next month. So thanks again for your subscriptions and your likes and your comments. You'll have a great day.